So in this video, I'm going to be talking about Necro and the roles that you need to play during book phase. So the best team comp, I think, against Necro in this situation would be Ruby, Henry, Pablo, Ed. And you're going to see why that I think the purple grenade launcher is way better than the explosive crossbow. It has a bigger, wider, it feels like it has a wider area of effect. So I'm able to take out multiple units. Um, So I asked here for special ammo because I'm only playing with one other person here. The rest, the other two people, I don't know. And you could see here that we're really not coordinated. Um, Unfortunately, the person I'm playing with has to go out for Flatus, which is a warrior, and he can't focus boss. What you need to do is focus boss and just burn through his health, and that will kill him as fast as possible. Um, Like in my mind, I know that he's placing Flatus, and I hear Flatus, and I look for it, and I know it's by the fire over there. But I need to focus here, and I know these units are getting resurrected, but I need to keep shooting here. Unfortunately, Pablo steps in the way here, so I don't hit boss with that shot. But yeah, this is why Pablo needed to go for Flatus, is because you need to burn through his health, and Pablo unfortunately doesn't do enough damage. Your support is not going to do enough damage. That's why he needs to go for Flatus. Um, And then unfortunately there's too many units hitting me from the side here, and I start having to have to focus on the units on the side instead of the units on book here. As you can see, I keep trying to shoot here, but I'm getting hit. So that's when your support needs to be getting the units off your hunter, as your hunter is trying to focus on the unit that's on the book, as your warriors are trying to take out the units on book as well. And that's why we lose here, because unfortunately in solo queue you don't really have the coordination to handle Necro at the end game, and that's why in solo queue you need to rush map pieces. And this next game, I actually switched to Necro because my friend needed to leave, and um, I decided to play Demon. And since I'm trying to level up Necro, that's the Demon I'm going to be playing. And I go up against a team that actually rushes the map pieces, but they don't capitalize on that. And I'm going to show you how they don't capitalize. So here I am going to Necromancer just to check my build. And I did spec into boss because I kind of just wanted to play boss. I don't like the... It feels like the reason I like Necro is because it feels like you're a dungeon master, you know? If you only summon boss and stuff. And that's kind of why I like Necro, but at the same time, he has a huge weakness. His greatest strength and is his greatest weakness, and that is Flautist. So you can play one of two ways, where you place Flautist and then proxy portals on point so that they run into the proxy portals, and then you summon a bunch of units as well, and then summon boss and do resurrection. Uh, I'm spec'd into resurrection for 30 seconds, which I think is necessary, especially during book phase, because those units are going to be protecting you on book. This is why you have to burn through boss as quickly as possible. Um, what this team should have done against me, now, they didn't see me in the beginning part, but they could tell that I was leveling up pretty fast, and that's why they probably rushed the map pieces. And it didn't. They, like, I flipped. If I didn't flip the cars in the beginning, like, I don't flip all the cars on the map. I just flip the cars that are going from point to point. And I got lucky on the first 2 points. I wasn't the right level on the first point, so I do take some punishment because of that. But because of how long it took them to get to the second point, like, they should just ran to second point, not worrying about. going to get supplies. Um, so they take way too much time, and that ends up giving me levels. And that's the thing that they were trying to avoid by rushing me in the beginning. And another thing is they don't check proxy pools around the dark ones, um, which is obviously bad. Like they didn't know where I was going to place Flautist because there are a couple locations where the dark ones were that I could have placed Flautist. There's a big rock. There's a derelict doll factory in that uh, area where you go down the stairs, and then there is Terminal Station behind the train. And I decided to put it behind the train terminal station. And after that, you see that the coordination is totally off during book phase. They honestly don't know what to do and they panic. And I'm able to just destroy book with basically boss. The Ruby didn't use her ability, and I understand why she didn't. She needed to use her ability as soon as boss died. So she needed to charge up her ability, and then once it got up to 50 souls, you know, do her Aurora Blast at the very end. That way, it'd be destroying all the units that were around Book. They go 2 warriors, Ruby and Warrior Ash and Cheryl. Now, I understand that some like supports would be like, well, I need to stick by Book because I need to heal my team. That's very true. But at the same time, they had a Henry who could have used his ability to take on boss so he doesn't get hit, so he doesn't have to heal. And you have a Warrior Ash whose Shield Blast can go off, disrupting the units around Book and then using shields. So I know they should have gave all their shields to Warrior Ash. And I know Henry has more shields and survivability because of it, but he needed to use it, Warrior Ash, because he has no survivability. Um, he won't be able to heal if he got hit by boss during book phase, and he needs to be there destroying boss. Ruby needs to be there as well to be buffing up the damage and damage resistance of these warriors. So Cher wasn't needed, and she needed to go for Flautist. It's kind of strange because when you think about it, it's like, well, it should be the hunter's job, right? They have more stamina, so they have more survivability going for Flautist if there's proxy portals protecting it. But you need your hunter to do damage on Evil Ash so then he can go down, so the resurrection ability that he has isn't effective anymore. And you can start focusing on clearing out all the units. It's one of the reasons why I was using the grenade launcher was because that way the only person hitting Book was Evil Ash. The best team comp, I've talked about this before in my last Necro video. Like, you don't have to play Hunter Ash against Necro because he could just possess Evil Ash and then have cooldown on his elites, and then only his elites are using it. So then your ability is not really doing that much as Evil Ash. So I feel like Ed is better against Necro because there's multiple things you can do. If the Necro puts it, Flatus, in an area where there's a lot of traps, he could be disarming those traps, and then he'll be forced to use proxy portals to protect his Flatus. And so Ed, honestly, I feel like 2 hunters is really good against Necro. Because then if you wanted, like, burning through boss is so important. And so like Ed with a grenade launcher And then an Amanda, Kelly, or Hunter Ash with a double barrel could be focusing boss, destroying his health, and then you have a support. What what's good? What's a good support against Necro? Blacksmith. Blacksmith is a wonderful support, and he teams up very well with Ed and Ruby because for Blacksmith to be effective, he needs to collect a lot of pink Fs. Same with Ruby, and who helps with that? Ed, because you have better chances on chests. So, and he could act as an warrior as well. So, the unfortunate side effect of that is if he's the one that goes for flautist, right? He's not going to be able to shoot flautist from a faraway distance. And in this situation, would be better would be one of your two hunters going for it, and one of your hunters will have a hunting rifle, so they could shoot from a distance, and then rush back to start focusing boss. Um, yeah, support Ash wouldn't be good either because the boss is hitting the people that are on book. They're not going to get healed from his alternative healing. So once again, I see that they're going to start this point first, and it's basically 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and they're already starting the point. So I consider that rushing. You know, I'm only level 8 here, and I want to place Flatus in that house that they're in. And I thought to myself, like, oh no, are they going to stay in this house? Is this really the only place I could place it? If I place it in the other one, across from this, they have windows, and you could shoot through the windows to shoot Flautist. You could actually shoot those windows out as well to shoot Flautist. So the only way I could really do anything here is I place Flautist in here. And so I thought that Henry was waiting out there. It would be a good strategy as well because um, I don't have boss. So one of them could stay off point to get Flautist super easily. And here I am just trying to set up here. Like Necro's all about setting up. And if you disrupt that setup, then you're going to disrupt Necro's flow. And then he's not going to get anything off, any damage off. Really nothing here. As you can see, I'm just placing portals at each side, proxy portals. Come back here for just possessing thing, and he immediately uses his ability, which, you know, he should, because there's no reason not to. The point is almost halfway done, and he may get his ability by the end of the point. Like I said, I'm just possessing here and trying to get levels. Like, he should use his ability here to reduce his fear, so I don't possess him to gain levels. So now I'm level 10. I can get boss with, and I already have the proxy portals ready, and now all I have to do is place Flatus and I can start doing things here. But unfortunately, like I said, now there's like a quarter left here, so I'm just gonna summon basics. I didn't even summon the elites here. I want to get the resurrection off so I could start working here, and plus that way I could chain it here. That way I can waste this person's dodges, but unfortunately I missed my hit. And there goes my balance bar. Once again, it takes forever for your balance bar to come back. And by the time I start hitting again, I only get like 3 hits, and then I get my balance bar's down. But point's done anyways, so it's all good. I'm not really worried about it. I flipped all the cars here, so it's gonna take them a while to get to the next point. So what they should have done is drive to the point. Like, there was no reason for them not to after they got all the map pieces. Like, what else do they have to loot? They're all warriors basically. The only person that really needs ammo is the Ruby, and she had a grenade launcher. I think they would have been fine. But she's pretty much acting like a warrior here in this situation when she needs to be playing the hunter. Like I said, normally I would set up fishing village, but I see that they are possessable here, and I think, oh, okay, I'm under level for a second point here. I need to possess these people so I can gain levels and kind of put pressure. Like I don't even like really possess anything here. I do something really dumb, and somehow it works. Like I don't get downs, but they spend their time, like they waste their time with me, which is what you should not be doing against Necro, like or Puppeteer or Warlord. Don't waste your time. To beat him, you need to rush him. You want to be at least under level 20 by the time the buck phase. And the reason of that is because if you're below level 20 when you go to buck phase, he's not going to have his uh, balance bar max for boss. So you can use blunt weapons to destroy his balance bar and easily win on buck phase. But like I said, they come over here and decide to loot. Like, yes, there's chest here, but I don't think it's necessary. Really spec into fear, stamina, and melee for warrior. That's it. There's nothing like there's no reason to keep looting. And I think to myself, like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna place Vlados down and Lucky Valley and see what they do. I also place Proxy Portal at the end of the stairs to protect my flux. And they actually entertain this idea when they shouldn't. They hear Vlados, they should just keep running past it. Like I'm not possessing anything here, and they think to themselves like, oh, we could just hop the railing here, and that actually ends up being their downfall because, as you can see right here, he uses his ability and gets out. Nope, he just gets out, and then they're like, okay, we'll just stay here and wait until this is all done. Like, why stay here? You need to go. Be like, oh, he summoned a boss. That's perfect. I try to get a grab here. Like I have boss here. Like they should run to the next point. They're only 200 yards away. And start that point because I literally just used Flautist and I used Boss. So Boss is going to be on cooldown, and same as Flautist. But they keep hopping through here with all these units being resurrected. Like, if you see them getting resurrected, you know Boss is still out. And so I'm just wasting time here. Just standing here, just... Because the more time I have, the more time I can level up. And so my Flautist goes down, so I decide to depossess here because I noticed that the Warrior has the right idea and decides to go off and start the point by himself. Or go to Fishing Village. He doesn't start the point. Once again, they come... it's very tempting to be like Luke Goblins in this game. He's like, oh, I need a better weapon to destroy boss, to kill boss, to destroy the Unisong book. But if he's under level, you don't need that many good weapons. Right? You can all be using sledgehammers, and just destroying his balance bar is enough. And so what they do is they give me enough time to set up here, and that's what you don't want to do against Necro, is let him set up. Once you disrupt his flow of setting up, then he really has nothing in his kit to help him during the point or during book phase. Book phase is a little harder because what you need to do is you need to check around the dark ones to see if there's any proxy portals. And if there isn't, then you need to check depending on the area. Like here in Fishing Village, there's multiple locations you could place Flautist. Right? You could put it in the building that they're in, right? Or around in the other areas. So you need to leave a little bit of health left on the dark ones and start checking these houses to see if there's any proxy portals. if there's proxy portals there, you need to set them off and then immediately destroy the dark ones and kill those units so that he's not going to place Flatus there. Um, but you'll see that I get an okay location. I think the only other location that is bad is sewage treatment plant, as you saw. There's not that many places to place Flatus there. Effectively. Like there's really like 3 locations. But so as you can see, they started at that point here. I need to set up because if I don't set up, they're just going to destroy Flatus super easily, and then there goes my whole damage, all my damage there. Now I kind of want to come back and get some Infernal Energy before I start doing things. I want to possess them here, so I'm getting some levels. Like I said, I'm just trying to gain levels here for book phase. I'm already high enough level for book phase, and that's thanks to distracting them during the first one and the second phase. So I come back, I have all my units here. So I decide to summon them all in one big area so that it causes a little bit of chaos. So they kind of get stuck here because they buried themselves in these units. But see, this is why Henry's good. He just turns everything around, and I can't put any damage on him or put the debuff on him. So I start focusing on another person. They're stuck in that tree, and I literally lose her because of how many units are around. It's kind of the problem as well with Necromancer. You have so many units out, you start losing people in the crowd. And unfortunately, she's healing, so I try to go for her. And I know he doesn't have his ability, so I'm putting the debuff on both of these people, and he goes down because of it. Like, I don't know why the Ruby hasn't used her ability at all here. She could destroy all these units. And I think she's holding on to the souls for that 10% extra damage increase in damage resistance. But, like, it would have been better if they just destroyed all the units. That way, you would have been fine, you know? The boss would have been easy. Because that's the only thing that's up. I'm just checking here, like, how far everything is. Because, like I said, this is, like, kind of the first times I've been really playing with Necro on this flautist. And I'm trying to see the distance between things. Like I said, I want it to be, like, at least 55. Now, this area is okay, but it is close, and they could just look down and shoot flautist. And this is where I put my proxy portals. My units are all maxed out, so I'm good for book phase here. Now, I honestly don't know why they don't check for proxy portals. Maybe they're not playing their solo queue. But I think with these high prestiges, you check for sure. Because, I mean, I'm not summoning anything. They don't see me summoning anything. So they know I'm holding on to my units. And now I start setting up here because I know it's taking a long time. I didn't hear any traps go off, so I think to myself, like, okay, they are not looting the fishing village. They may come here to start looting for ships and stuff, for amulets. And you're gonna see something that like they don't care that Flatus is up. I try to dodge her into that trap because I need a couple things for my prestige. That's setting off traps, using demon dash. As you see, I place Flatus there, so it's hard to shoot out. But they don't really go for it. Like, they set off these traps to go for it, but they don't actually shoot it. They just walk past it. So as you can see there, I have max health and max bounce bar damage on my units, but they die super quick thanks to Ruby's buff. And this is where like she's still looting. She's not looking for flautist. So all these units they just keep walking past him. And unfortunately, I missed the demon dash because he got hit in the back. I was going to put him in the car there and trap him with an elite, but turns out that I couldn't do that because of bad timing. So I don't have the infernal energy to grab him either and possess the unit. And so they get in the car and they leave here, which is smart. Now I also think about putting flowers here, just so they have to run in the trap, but they can still shoot it from the side. So he has a purple chainsaw here, which is good, but as you can see, I'm missing everything, and I kind of just decided to drop him here. So I can't hit her with him. I could possess her as well, and just shoot from the side, but she's not going to do enough damage either. So I'm literally just possessing basics here. Basics that are already here. And this is where they should realize, like, hey, how come he's not summoning anything? They're standing by the tree too, so that they're trying to reduce their fear. I possess the tree. I pretend like I'm just here around them, so I like lures them into a false sense of security. Where like, okay, he's not waiting to place flautist, and because of that, I get a because I don't like I try to have enough infernal energy that when I come back I can just summon everything. And this is where I place flautist. And I start going to town. Like you see, they should have set up these proxies because, bam, look at all these units that just come out. And so I immediately use my resurrection, and then I just start going to town on Bark. And you see how nobody is focusing me? Like the Ruby is the one focusing me. And as soon as she starts hitting me, I use my summon ability after the 4 hits as well, so I can start chaining attacks here. But yeah, 12 seconds, just resurrection, and you start. As you can see, they can't even get to me here. You need a hunter to get through all this. I mean, hunter is good because, as you can see with his ability, he's still able to hit me, but they don't have anybody to clear out all these units. You need a hunter or you need Scotty. I think Scotty would be better. So let's think about this, right? So Ruby, Scotty, Ed, and Blacksmith. So you have a better chance of getting a high rarity lumberjack guy.